Nearly 3,000 Idahoans have died from the coronavirus in the past year and a half. 2,854 to be exact, and that number is going to likely go up in a few minutes when they release the latest numbers. It's been the deadliest month for COVID ever in Idaho, capped by the deadliest day on September 11th. That day, the state set a record with 25 COVID deaths in just one day. With such high volumes of deaths each day, funeral homes and crematoria are overwhelmed, more than they have been before. So much so, they're running out of space to house some of the bodies. Katya Stepovic is at Cloverdale Funeral Home in Boise. And Katya, they've had to bring in some help, outside storage, to be able to keep up with the amount of deaths.
Well, that's absolutely right. And you can see the massive refrigerated trailer right behind me. And they had to bring that in because at Cloverdale Funeral Service, they don't have any more refrigeration space inside their facility. Now, in just 2 weeks, this trailer behind me is holding up to 15 people as we speak.
This truck is about 8.5 or 9 feet wide. It's lined on both sides with racks that are 3 high.
This refrigerated trailer parked outside of the Cloverdale Funeral Home can hold up to 50 bodies.
There's room for an additional approximate 10 if we use additional, tables or something of that nature. Everyone has their own space. There's no overloading. That's one thing that was the reason for bringing this in, was I didn't want to have the situation where we were without space for people.
Bringing in extra storage to preserve bodies while they wait for a cremation service is something that Dave Salova, managing partner at Cloverdale Funeral Home, says he's never had to even think about doing until now.
One came available and we brought it up about 2 weeks ago now and got it ready, and it was needed immediately. In 47 years, I've never experienced anything like this.
During the month of September alone, Salova recorded 28 deaths due to COVID. On any given September, the normal death toll would be around 50 at the funeral home. This month alone, it was 80. Statewide, 220 people died from COVID in August. In September, that number nearly doubled to 401 deaths in just 1 month.
We've had people as young as in their 20s. And there are sometimes health circumstances, but there's been times that there wasn't, and so it's hard to tell exactly who's safe from it. I don't think anybody really is,
Salova says the cremation rate is 70% of their services. Typically, cremation services can take up to 5 days, but because of increased deaths, families are waiting up to 15 days to get their loved one back. The refrigerated storage is needed during the wait time.
This is a crematory facility. It'll take anywhere from about 2 to 3 hours usually. Yeah.
It's a process that shouldn't and can't be rushed, but the unprecedented death toll is adding pressure.
We have just one crematory here and on our facilities, and we can do as many as 5 or 6 cremations a day. But given the volume that there is, it still takes time to accomplish that. We have to have permits and we have to have the death certificate signed. The doctors are very, very busy at the hospitals, and they've been really great getting those things out, but sometimes it's 2 or 3 or 5 days before they can get back to paperwork, and that just prolongs things on our end of things before we're able to do things as well. This is one of our sister firms bringing a cremation for us to do. We do cremations for a couple of other of our sister firms in the area.
While no grieving process is easy, Salova says the process feels different when loved ones lose someone to the virus.
It's one thing to lose someone in an accident, or if they've had a long cancer death or something like that, but this is just something that most people aren't planning on. They're not figuring on. And even though we've been talking about it for a couple of years now and dealing with it for a couple of years, they're still just not ready at the time.
Salova says in December of last year, many people had their loved ones embalmed instead of waiting for cremations. But that's not the case this time, and the last thing he wants to see is this trailer fill up.
I hope we don't get to that point. the fact that we're putting 10 to 12 to 15 people there currently, I'm just glad that we have a place that we can put them that is clean and professional and secure. If we see that trailer fill up, I think that we're going to see a lot of other things change around the area. I think I know the governor is hesitant to go back to mandates of any kind, but when a death rate reaches extreme levels, something else has to change.
That's a pretty big statement there, Katya, but I know that Cloverdale isn't the only funeral home in the area. How are other funeral homes dealing with this?
Well, honestly, Brian, I reached out to more funeral homes than I can even count on my fingers, and every single one of them told me they're experiencing high volumes that they've ever seen before, and even one also told me that they're looking into bringing similar storage that you see behind me at Cloverdale.
One other quick question. I know you mentioned the crematory having a delay. What about funerals themselves? Are those also being pushed back because of this backup?
You know, funerals, not yet. I can say that confidently. As you heard, 70% are cremation requests. So they don't have as many requests for funerals, and they're not seeing that delay at the moment. But again, like most of this pandemic, that could change very quickly.
Yeah, we heard about it yesterday from Representative Cheney. His mother's funeral has been pushed back weeks. It's affecting a lot of things. Thank you very much, Katya.